You are now tuned into Then Radio. If you enjoy our videos, we ask that you consider joining our Patreon to support our channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you never miss a new video. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and as always, thank you for watching.
Get this and get it straight. Crime is a sucker's road, and those who travel it wind up in the gutter, the prison, or the grave. I didn't know it, but I was caught in a smokeout that led from a search for a lady in black, past murder at a highway inn, to gunfire in a warehouse, for a girl already dead in the morgue. From the pen of Raymond Chandler, outstanding author of crime fiction, comes his most famous character in The Adventures of Philip Marlowe. With Gerald Moore, starred as Philip Marlowe, we bring you tonight's exciting story, The Smokeout. It never seems to fail. A sleepless night that leaves you with raw nerves and sandpaper eyelids is always followed by a day that never ends. A kind of long, tough day that keeps you on the move until life in the city is finally reduced to no more than a confused, clatterous sink of exhaust fumes and an aimless mob of shallow people milling around, looking for nothing but a chance to con each other out of a lousy buck. And this was no exception. Because when I finally decided to quit to get out of it to go someplace quiet and relaxed, I found myself instead in a hurry all over again. I was on my way to a very public building on Spring Street at the stubborn instigation of one Detective Lieutenant Matthews of Homicide, whose phone call 20 minutes ago had caught me as soon as I opened my apartment door.
Where you been, Marlowe? Don't you ever check in at that office of yours?
And on days like this, Matthews, they don't give me a chance. What's up?
Tell me all you know about Vera Hamlin, Phil.
Who's Vera Hamlin?
A girl.
No fooling.
Are you real sure you don't know her?
Positive. Am I supposed to?
Maybe she used another name. Pretty, blonde, about 5'6", a sweet kid, apparently.
I can think of a lot of women who fit that description, Matthews.
Yeah, you could. But this one wrote you a letter yesterday.
I didn't get it. Then I haven't been in my office at all today. Why?
She wanted your help.
How do you know?
Well, we picked it up from the imprint in an open pack of stationery in her apartment.
Oh?
Better come down and take a look at her, Phil.
Take a look at her. Where is she?
In the morgue.
Oh.
She was struck by a car last night.
Accident?
What makes you ask that, Marlowe?
Your dubious tone of voice, Matthews. Well, was it an accident?
I guess so. Maybe I've been a cop too long. I get suspicious myself on dark nights.
Can understand it.
Come on down, Phil. Right away. I'll meet you there. You better hold it a while. Oh, here he is now. Hello, Phil.
Hi.
Made good time. This is Mr. Connor, the morgue attendant.
I'm certainly glad to know you, Mr. Marlowe. Is this your first visit?
No, I've been here before, Connor. Well, Matthews, for what good do you think this is going to do the police department? Let's see her and get it over with.
All right, let's go, Connor.
Certainly. Step this way, please, gentlemen. Follow me.
Happy fella, isn't he?
Well, civil sense.
Here to the right. Now, let's see. Egram, Flanagan. Now, here we are. Hamlin, Vera. There.
Well, Marlowe?
Hmm.
You know her, Marlowe?
No.
Okay, that's all.
All right, Lieutenant Matthews.
Come on, Phil. Let's get out of here.
Yeah. Now, look, Matthews, I told you on the phone I didn't know. What'd you get me down here for?
Because there are some angles on this death I don't like the looks of. That letter to you was one of them.
Got the letter?
No, I read the whole thing in from the lab and that imprint they worked on. She was worried. She wanted you to investigate something for her. You were supposed to call her today.
Know anything about her?
Yeah, she came to L.A. about 6 months ago from Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
She worked for a guy named Brasso, who's a produce wholesaler, 77 Market Street. Lately, she was seeing a lot of him after office hours.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. She was killed in front of Brasso's house at 2 a.m. as she was getting out of her car, and Brasso wasn't home at the time.
Oh?
He has a fair alibi, puts him out on Highway 101 north of Santa Monica when it happened.
Excuse me, gentlemen. I'd better get the phone.
Yeah, do that.
What about the motives, Matthew?
No motives.
Well, then why are you so upset?
Why was she so upset? What did she want you for?
That's not enough for you to
If I
go
had
on.
that one answered, I'd know where to go from there.
I know, but you're pinning a murder rap on somebody.
What do you mean murder rap? I'm not up to that.
It's for
Get
you,
up.
Lieutenant.
All right, thank you. Excuse me, Mister. Hello, this is Matthew. Yeah. A witness. Says it was murder. Phil, get a load of this.
What?
Yeah, give me that again. Yeah, a woman. Saw it happen, huh? Great. Who was it? The lady in black.
Where'd you get that? It sounds corny.
Where did you get that? It sounds... What? You mean there's a story about it out now in the L.A. Journal? Yeah, I'll be back there in 5 minutes. And listen, get a hold of the reporter who wrote that story and hang on to him. I want to talk to that wise punk. How do you like that?
How do you like it?
Yeah, Vera Hamlin murdered with an eyewitness to prove it. Only the police department is the last outfit in town to know. Come on, Phil.
Where to this time?
To buy a newspaper, find out what's going on.
Matthews was boiling as we left the morgue and headed to police headquarters. We made one stop on the way to pick up a copy of the Journal, which he read as I drove. The kind of smoky, well-illustrated sensationalism that clouds issues, doubles police work, and sells papers.
Revealed exclusively to the Journal tonight that she was an eyewitness when a mad killer purposely swerved his speeding car into curvaceous blonde beauty Vera Hamlin outside her lover's Brentwood home late last night. If that's journalism, I'll eat my bag.
Keep reading. You're a cop, not a critic.
Yeah, but I got taste. The lady in black will appear at police headquarters at 9 o'clock to reveal license number and description of the murder and the shocking death which police have already labeled accidental nuts. Come on, Marlowe.
I felt a little sorry for Matthews because the way things were breaking, the Vera Hamlin deal was a cinch to become one of those involved screwball affairs where nothing goes according to the book, and I was glad I never got a letter. Now it was none of my business. All I wanted to do was drop Matthews off, get away from the whole thing, and try to forget about it. But when we piled up behind the waiting squad car at headquarters, a gang of night beat photographers draping the stairs stopped us.
Give you a right. Lieutenant, is your witness going to show? It's 9 on the button. Where's the lady in black? I know. I didn't find out there was a witness till I read it in the Journal. Yeah, that was a dirty trick. Hiya, Marlowe.
Hi, Abbott.
You're an old-timer, Abbott. You guys ought to keep punks like the Journal squirt in line. They just make it tough on everyone. Oh, don't blame us for that guy. He's burned up, huh, Marlowe?
You blame him? You know as well as I do, the Journal picked up that witness right here. Kept her under wraps until they had time to break the story.
Well, he shouldn't let it through him. You know, guys like that usually hang themselves.
Sure, after the damage is done. Now, I've had enough today, Matthews. Besides, nobody in City Hall signs my check. Good night. I watched him out of sight and drove to the corner where one of the reporters told me that the green sedan had a lady in black in it. Whoever had fired the shots had gotten away clean. So, with that to think about, I drove back to Hollywood and tried a double scotch in a quiet bar. Yeah, it didn't work. Half hour later, I ended up in my office with Vera Hamlin's letter open on my desk. Enclosed were 5 $10 bills and a souvenir postcard from a place called Moon's Point on Highway 101. Penciled across the back were the words, "I think this place means trouble to Dave Brasso. I don't know why, Vera." Maybe it was the memory of the girl's face in the morgue. Or maybe it was a stack of wrinkled tens on my desk that made me do it. But whatever it was, I went to my car, drove out past Santa Monica, and it took me an hour to get to Moon's Point on Highway 101. An isolated huddle of grimy filling station, rickety 6-cabin auto court, and weather-beaten lunch counter and bar, squatting beside the highway. I pulled up at the parking lot and went into the bar where the source of the quaint name Moon's Point met me. Moon himself. He was round, pale, and soft as a lump of green cheese.
What can I do for you, mister?
Dave around?
Dave who?
Brasso. Want to see him on business.
What kind
Private
of
business.
Oh. Okay. Sure, Brasso's here. Out in cabin number 4 there is Mr. Stipple.
No?
You can get that back there, there if you want her. But I don't think they'll have much time for you, fella.
Why not?
The late paper just come in, the L.A. Journal.
Is that all? I got much later news than that for him.
Hey, you.
Who's there?
Pull it down, will you? My name's Baggett. Agent sign asking for Dave Brasso. Well, I think you're a cop, and I might be able to do you a little favor.
What do you got in mind, Baggett?
Well, since there don't seem to be much love lost between you and Brasso, I'll tell you. I believe in an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, see? I used to be a driver for Dave Brasso, only yesterday I got canned. Thrown out. Pull off my truck and fired for no reason at all.
So?
Oh, so I've been sticking close to him, just waiting for a chance to pay him back. And I've been finding out things you might like to know.
Give me a for instance.
Well, for instance, he had a fight. A knockdown, drag-out argument with that Vera Hamlin girl last night, just an hour or so before she was run over. She claimed he was seeing another woman.
What's that prove, Baggett?
She was found dead in front of his house, Bud. You added up. And that's not all he did. I know why he's hanging around out here. Also, why it ain't going to do him one bit of good. I got plenty to tell him.
Wait a minute. Hold it.
Yeah. That's Monty Stipple who opened the door to number 4 here. I got to get out of here. But I got plenty to tell, Bud, so when you're finished in there, come on over behind the grease rack at the filling station. I'll be waiting.
I don't know how you feel, Dave. You're on edge. You got reason to be, but running back into town won't help you any. So they got a witness. She's already told it. Wait a minute. There's somebody outside here.
Yeah, that's right. I want to see Dave Brasso.
And Mr. Brasno's pretty busy right now, mister.
Not too busy to see me.
Oh, you cop?
No.
And you must be a crummy reporter, so scram. You look Mr. Brasso up at his place of business some other time.
You mean after he skipped town to keep the witness from putting a finger on him?
Why, you
Hold it,
snooping...
Monty. Wait. Who are you? What's your dodge, soldier?
Name's Marlowe, private detective. I'm here because Vera Hamlin wrote me a letter yesterday.
Vera? Monty, get lost for a couple of minutes, will you? I want to talk to this guy.
Don't you
Go
think you
on,
better
go
let me-
on, beat it.
Well, okay.
All right, soldier. Come on in. You wanted to see me? I'll take a good look. Well,
Okay, so you're big, Brasso. Husky enough to run over somebody and kill him without even getting into a car.
I'll let that one go by, soldier. Where's the letter?
Locked up in my office.
What'd she say in it?
She wanted something to look into and said this was a good place to start.
Jealous little fool.
Is that what the fight was about last night?
Right. You do find things out, don't you, soldier?
That's my business.
Well, maybe you know who this lady in black here in the paper is and what she's going to tell.
Maybe. Might even know who was jumping up to try to kill her tonight and shut her up.
Who is that? You mean somebody...
Come on, Brasso. Let's stick closer to the truth. You're a lousy actor. For instance, Vera wanted me to come to this dump because you and Stipple are holed up here. Why?
That doesn't concern you. It's business.
Sure, and when a girl accidentally gets in the way of business, she's run over by it. Is that the way you work?
You keep harping on the same thing, soldier, and I don't like it. I was in love with Vera Hamlin. Maybe you're trying to use that to nail me in a frame. Maybe you're a sneak for that stinking louse Weber. Maybe you didn't get any letter from Vera at all, so get out of here and think up a new one.
Your theories are getting way ahead of you, Buster. Who's Weber?
Jerk. I said get out. Now take that back for an answer, soldier, and you can get more of the same anytime you want it at 77 Market Street.
Brasso's hair trigger left with 200 pounds of shoulder behind it. Piled me out of the door and flat on my back in the gravel. Which tallied my interview with him at 0 with one minor exception. My spiteful informer, Baggett, had some basis intact for his story, so I dusted myself off and made for the rear of the deserted filling station where the grease rack stood. There was nobody around. I waited a few minutes for him, and then I skirted wide around the auto court and looked in at the scaly window at the bar. Stipple was there with his nose in a beer glass, but no Baggett. I circled the building quietly, found nothing but indignant spiders and dark corners, and decided to try the grease rack again. When the back door to the bar opened, and Moon came out with a flashlight and a pail of garbage. He was halfway to a rack of cans when he froze. Like a bird dog with one foot in the air.
Holy mackerel.
His flashlight stabbing at a man's hand, hanging out over the edge of a shallow ditch.
Look there. There's somebody laying in the ditch.
Yeah. No wonder I couldn't find him. It's Baggett with a knife in his back.
Now, with our star, Gerald Moore, we continue with the second act of Philip Marlowe and tonight's story, The Smokeout.
Even as death quietly hardened the hand at the edge of the ditch, the wheezing, pudgy circle known as Moon was already worrying less about why murder was sprawled at his feet and more about what the violent slaying of the truck driver was going to do to his roadhouse business as usual. Didn't make for wholesome listening.
Dave Brasso, that Monty Stipple, all of them. They can take their trade and their trouble somewhere else. I got to make a buck like the next guy, but I sure ain't going to do it this way. Why, overnight, a joint...
Hey, wait a minute,
was
Moon.
more
What
pleasant-
troubles are you talking about? Brasso and Stipple, I mean. What is it? Come on, speak up. It may be important.
To who?
To me and the law. To Baggett here. Maybe a girl who died a little ahead of her time.
A girl who what? Look, mister, you're talking in circles.
Yeah, sure I am. And we don't have time for that, do we, Moon?
Here, let go of me.
Are you going to talk?
What's that?
Well?
Okay, I'll tell you. It is no international secret. Now, get your hands off of me.
All right, but make it fast. The setup, what is it, Moon?
Too much competition. Another produce outfit run by a guy named Mike. He's been picking Brasso's trucks off along US 101 every other night. Sometimes it's a well-planned accident, and sometimes just sloppy hijacking, but all else is trouble.
Trouble Brasso can't prove, is that it?
Yes. That's the reason for Monty Stipples and the meetings out here. Stipples supposed to get the proof for
Hey, wait a minute.
Brasso.
There's a guy going to the car next to mine.
Oh, that's Brasso, Marlowe. And like I said, I've had enough. For my dough, it's time to call the cops. Good luck, sucker.
Dave Brasso was out in front by no more than 30 seconds, so as I ran toward my car and the wall of dust his tires had kicked up, I figured I had an even chance of catching up with him before he got back to Santa Monica and into heavy traffic. But I figured differently when I had one hand on the door of my car. I had to. Company said so.
I'm holding a gun. Please don't move.
She was standing someplace behind me, and when I did as told, she moved around in a wide, careful arc until we faced each other across a chunk of dark night. It revealed only two things. One, she was holding a gun, and two, there was no mistaking her. This was a lady in black.
Those car keys there in your hand. Throw them here, please.
Now, wait a minute. I'm sure we can talk.
Please, let me have them.
Okay. Now what?
Now, whoever you are, you can look for these when I'm
Hey,
gone.
well, listen.
I don't want to be interfered with.
Now, wait a minute. Oh, I get it. You're afraid something will jar the sale price you've set for Brasso, huh?
Yep. What are you talking about?
That ever-sneaking routine known as blackmail. Or to be very specific, a mystery witness, you, the lady in black, who almost gets to the police to tag a killer. Almost so she could scare said killer into Jenna's frame of mind when next they meet. In other words, baby, it was all an act of pressure play on Dave Brasso. Now it's time to collect. Do I go on?
No, you don't. You just do as I say. You just turn around and walk. And think a little. Think about the pistol shots that you neglected to mention, which somebody took at me while I almost went to the police. Or did I do that myself? Also for the sake of Mr. Brasso's frame of mind.
It's possible.
I don't think so. Now go and start walking. You don't make much sense standing here.
As I moved away from her, she backed off quickly toward a car that was nuzzling a high hedge near the far side of the roadhouse. So I knew that any move I intended to make had to be done right then and there. But she must have known just as much because that was when the gun she held got mad enough to start spitting my way. I dove for the gravel with my feet, then practically burrowed my way across a dozen uncomfortable yards of chopped rock to the shoulder of a line of trash cans, all of which left me scarred, safe, and in time to do nothing more effective than swear. I had a pair of teasing tail lights on a green sedan that were already winking out of sight. Didn't help much.
Well, what do you know? The private detective again. Well, what's it this time?
Bill Brasso, Stipple, is he in?
No, he isn't.
That's funny.
No, I don't think so. I only think you're funny. The panic, Marlowe. Moon and I have been watching you comb that gravel out there searching for the key. We couldn't catch the chatter, but she certainly made you look stupid. And just so you don't go on looking that way, don't bother playing so wide-eyed about Brasso being in here either. You see, I know you know he isn't. It won't work, sonny boy.
Maybe a little pressure will.
I doubt it. I don't bend easy, Marlowe. Also, I don't happen to know where Brasso went. But just so nobody gets too upset or quick with a gun, maybe we have to go back over to the bar to chat. Moon's expecting me. Besides, it's cozier there.
It won't be. Once the cops start pouring in. Incidentally, it makes it your turn not to play dumb. I mean Ernie Baggett being very dead out in the back.
Even Stephen, huh, Marlowe?
Yeah.
Okay. I know about Baggett.
From Brasso? I said...
I heard you. Nice night. Marlowe?
You know, Stipple, you're making a big mistake.
What?
Protecting Brasso can't pay off anymore.
You said I was protecting him. I worked for Dave Brasso, period. If he knocked off a couple of people, and I'm not saying he has, it's got nothing to do with me. What's done is done.
Which doesn't include the girl, huh?
Who? That witness? What's the difference? What happens to her? She's living on borrowed time right now any way you look at it.
Why? Because of what she knows?
No. Because of the way she handles what she knows. All that gab in the papers. You know, she's lucky those 3 shots that were thrown at her only came out of a pistol. Could have been a howitzer, considering the advance notice she gave. Hey, Moon.
What?
The cops here yet?
No, they ain't. Highway patrol took 5 minutes, 10 minutes ago. I sure wish they'd get here.
Don't worry, they will. Well, Marlowe, will it be? Hey, private detective. Come out of it. What's up?
Around here, Stipple, nothing.
Nothing at all. Where are you going?
To 77 Market Street, the Brosso Produce Company. I think it's where both your boss and the lady in black are going to get together.
And what gives you that idea?
A hunch, Stipple. Just a hunch. Goodbye. The Brosso Produce Company was a half a block of corrugated metal warehouse crouched behind a wide loading ramp, which at 2 a.m. bustled with enough noisy, fresh vegetable business to turn night into day. And when I was out of my car, clear of the whirring electric hand cart, and picking my way in between sided lettuce crates toward a cage marked dispatcher, I kept wondering how a guy who built an outfit like this single-handed could have possibly made the mistake I figured was his. I stopped wondering when a face that had been stolen from a hawk pressed itself close to the inside of the cage and yelled at me.
Well, what is it, mister? Talk up fast, will you? I'm busy here. Wait, please. Take anyone out now.
I want to see Dave Brasso.
Oh, that he isn't here. Dispatcher. Yes. 21 a bushel. Right. Brasso's not in his office, mister. I'm not sure where he is.
I'm not sure.
You a cop?
No, private detective. With expense account. Will 5 help?
He just paid 10.
Oh, let it ring. Come on, Buster, this counts. Here's 10. The lady in black?
Yeah. Keep it down, will you? She stood around for maybe 20 minutes before she got talking to me. Not a bad-looking doll.
All right. Now, where'd you send her? Come on, you got your 10 talk.
Hang on just a minute.
Where?
The old shed in the back. Used to be a warehouse. They've got a real private office there. You'll probably catch up there if you run.
I'll probably try. Thanks. The ex-warehouse turned out to be an ugly huddle of parched cobblers teetering at the edge of a deserted cobblestone alley, and quietly dying of old age. And except for a flicker of light from an open door deep inside, it was as dark and as quiet as the lining of a frock coat. Until I stepped in front of a gun, it was no surprise.
When I told you that I didn't want to be interfered with, I meant just that. Now, without shouting, who are you?
For one thing, a private detective named Philip Marlowe. Another, a guy who's still working for Vera Hamlin.
You were working for Vera?
That's right, but not swinging in the dark.
Which means what?
That you never saw Vera Hamlin killed in the first place. And that all this lady in black razzle-dazzle strictly a smokeout.
Vera was my sister, Marlowe. Her letters told me all about Dave Brasso, about what he meant to her, about the runaround she was getting from him.
So you added that to a phony hit-and-run accident and decided to pose as a surprise witness. So that Dave Brasso would try to pick you off and reveal himself as your sister's killer, if you lived through it.
Right. And now, Marlowe, Marlowe, quick. Get back. Brasso just turned that light off in there. He's coming out, and I'm going to meet him.
No, don't.
Look,
Listen.
If you want to help, stay where you are. Keep quiet.
Oh, brother. I'd better be right. She moved one slow step at a time toward the long, thin triangle of light the open warehouse door spilled across the sawdust flooring. I slid my .38 from shoulder holster to the right hand, and the hair on the back of my neck started to crawl. And suddenly there was nothing to do but wait.
You can stop right there, Mr. Brasso.
Who's there? Who are you?
A girl named Hamlin, Mr. Brasso. Frances Hamlin. A girl who knows all about how my sister really died.
It was only a sudden splash of light, but there was no mistaking it. It was a pistol raised and aimed at the back of Frances Hamlin's head. It was all the cue I needed.
Drop it, Sybil! Don't shoot again! Don't shoot again!
Marlowe, quickly, Brasso's get out.
Yeah, but he's harmless, honey. He and Stipple aren't on the same team as far as your sister's concerned. Did you hear that, Brasso?
Yeah, I heard you, Marlowe.
Well, then Stipple killed my sister. Why, Marlowe?
I don't know. He's the one to ask about that.
All right. Why, Stipple? Dave. Why did you do it?
Dave, stay back.
Why?
I did it because she caught me at my place, caught me talking to Mike Weber.
You worked for Weber, for the guy who was wrecking our business?
Yeah, Dave, please, I didn't know what I was doing. She was going back to you to tell you what she saw.
You double-crossing her.
Dave, that's enough.
No, it isn't.
Please, Dave.
I've got something to finish.
On the city payroll? You did all right tonight. Hey, Private Doc Matthews. Oh, hey, Lieutenant, how about the story? We're pushing our deadline on a bulldog edition.
Yeah, we work for daily papers, Matthews. You've been holed up in that warehouse with Marlowe and that heavy for a half hour now. What gives?
Hey, how bad is Stipple's wound? Look, the wound is nothing. It's a scratch, although I wouldn't say he ain't hurt. But the story will have to wait until I'm down at headquarters. I haven't got it all myself. Oh, Lieutenant, you're kidding. Sure, I got lots of time for it. Listen, Abbott. Monty Stipple killed both Vera Hamlin and Ernie Baggett. He killed the lady because she found out he was crooked, and he killed Baggett because he was afraid Baggett knew too much. And now, so long. Oh, but Lieutenant, tonight I got something less than love for the gentleman of the press. Hey, Phil, come on. Miss Hamlin's over there. All right. Now, look, Marlowe, before it's impossible for me to stay away from those dear boys any longer. Tell me, where did you run across the switch? I mean, what the heck Monty Stipple for?
Mistake he made, Lieutenant, calling the shots when he was blindfolded.
Or in other words, what?
Matthews, I'm tired. Tomorrow, huh?
No.
We can talk then. Come on,
Marlowe,
Frank.
please.
Okay. Well, it's something like this. Back at Moon's Point, Stipple told me how lucky the lady in black was. Only 3 shots were thrown at him.
And he had no way of knowing how many shots had been thrown, huh?
Attaboy. Unless, of course, he threw them himself.
Sure.
Francis had a smokeout plan, which was an inspiration to me because knowing Stipple was a liar and proving it were 2 different things.
So you led him to the warehouse, and while Miss Hamlin here gunned for Brasso, Stipple gunned for her.
You're so right, and good night, Lieutenant Matthews.
No, listen, Marlowe,
Good night, Lieutenant.
Okay. Good night, Phil. Good night, Miss Hamlin.
Good night, Lieutenant. Thanks, Marlowe.
And what? More questions?
Uh-huh. But not under vital statistics.
Oh.
Marlowe, one way or another, my crazy plan has worked, right?
I guess so.
Well, then tell me. Now that Stipple's caught and, well, it's all over, am I supposed to feel good?
I don't know, baby. Maybe that's what's so screwy about revenge. It's got all the permanence of a smoke ring, even when you're positive it's justified. Cigarette? I'd been dog-tired when it started. Whipped. Fed up with the city and the aimless, milling mob of shallow people. Always hungry for a buck that made it move. But now as I drove through the quiet, empty downtown streets and listened to Frances Hamlin talk about her sister, who had never been anything but nice, I stopped thinking about those money grubbers and thought instead about the ones like Vera. All the people all over the world who sometimes get in trouble because other people won't realize the world is not for sale. Yeah. The Veras are the ones to keep in mind. And that was when I decided that I was only tired, not whipped, not fed up. All I needed was a good night's sleep. So I went home and got it.
The Adventures of Philip Marlowe, bringing you Raymond Chandler's most famous character, star Gerald Moore, and are produced and directed by Norman McDonnell. Script is by Robert Mitchell and Gene Levitt. Featured in the cast were Lynn Allen, Barney Phillips, John Daner, Jack Crucian, Parley Bear, Edgar Barrier, Byron Kane, Hugh Thomas, and Bill Lally. Detective Lieutenant Matthews is played by Larry Dobkin. The special music is composed and conducted by Richard Orant. Be sure and be with us next week when Philip Marlowe says...
This time she had hair spun from a red sunset, skin as smooth as warm honey, and a generous mouth that laughed without moving. She was beautiful, except for her cold green eyes. From the pen of Raymond Chandler, outstanding author of crime fiction, comes his most famous character in The Adventures of Philip Marlowe. Now, with Gerald Moore, starred as Philip Marlowe, we bring you tonight's exciting story, The Green Witch. Once upon a time, Halloween had been a day and a night on which mortal man had tiptoed over the face of the earth, holding cold hands with fear and starting at each new shadow which the harvest moon cast. As still another twisted, grotesque goblin thirsting to drink dry a human soul. I read that in a book once. Read something else, too. The Vigil of Hallowmass, as a genuine spook show, had definitely started downhill with the Romans, as did almost everything else. Until now, Halloween has come to mean gate-stealing, trick-or-treat, and, of course, the malpractice of soaping or chalking everything in sight. So today, unless you're really on your toes or under 12, and I'm neither, the 31st day of October, 1949, could easily have appeared as just that and no more, until a worried man named John Bishop entered my office. I said trick or treat, and so he unfolded a $100 bill and came right to the point.
Marlowe, 4 days ago, a man I once knew broke out of an Illinois prison. My testimony in court a year ago sent him to that prison. Now I'm afraid he's coming after me for revenge. His name is Dale Estes, and I want you to protect me from him.
Is he here in L.A., Mr. Bishop?
I'm not certain. However, this morning, a friend of mine told me of a man in a shabby brown tweed suit who asked about me, but wouldn't identify himself. That's all the description he could give. But here, Mr. Marlowe, here's a picture of Dale Estes. It was in last Thursday's paper. It's a prison identification picture.
Well, when you change the clothes and remove the number, it doesn't leave much.
No.
Tell me, Mr. Bishop, what do you want me to do?
I want you to locate this man Estes and keep him from killing me.
Police will do that for nothing.
Nothing, plus a lot of noisy publicity, and I don't want. Because in the first place, it won't help my real estate business any, and also
It's somebody you'd rather not have worrying about you, maybe.
Yes. Madeline Hughes, my fiancée. Please, Mr. Marlowe, will you try to find Estes at once? As soon as possible, before tonight.
Why? What happens then?
Our masquerade, the Pacific Palisades Country Club. It's a lonely spot out there.
Well, why go to the masquerade?
Because if I didn't, Madeline would know there was something wrong. She'd worry, and I'd defeat my purpose. Now, Mr. Marlowe, all I can give you to go on are three things. First, Dale Estes was once an able-bodied seaman. Second, he likes Spanish food. He could eat it 3 times a day. And third, he'd gladly give up both to watch a prize fight. He'll kill me, Mr. Marlowe. I know he will.
Maybe the magic of Halloween night had something to do with it. I don't know. But when I started looking for an escaped convict who might possibly be someplace in the sprawling city of Los Angeles with murder on his mind, things began to change. First, it was 10-year-old girls prancing around in their mother's high heels, lipsticks, and affectations. Then gangling boys screaming home from school via the Great Mischief route. That much was fun. Then it got dark everywhere. The kids went home and took their laughter with them. And I went looking for Dale Estes. I seemed to meet people who wore everyday faces that I was sure could be masks. People like the old lady who ran a Spanish restaurant located off a crooked alley below the street level. It started with her at the entrance to a damp, cold cave.
No, senor. I did not ever see any man like that picture. But if I were you, I would look for him no further. There is death in his face, senor. I know.
And there it got worse until in my imagination even the scarred, brute face on the sweating hulk in the distant dusky corner of the third gymnasium I tried seemed to belong less to a 20th century man and more to a prehistoric brute out of some dark, long-ago jungle.
Nobody like that ain't been watching me today. Nobody ain't been watching me at all for as long as I can remember.
And finally, after 2 hours along the Santa Monica fishing piers, 100 withered pounds of ancient mariner staring out to sea had more to say.
Yes, I know Estes. Estes was standing next to me when the boiler exploded that night off New South Wales. He was killed. But I told the skipper all about that once already. His name was Estes, too. And so was the first mate, Dale Estes. Everybody's name is Estes.
Marlowe, Mr. Bishop. I haven't run across anything.
Marlowe, listen. He's been
seen again. Estes.
What?
Yes. Or at least a man in a shabby brown tweed, this time near my office. Marlowe, get over to 3130 North Havenhurst Drive as soon as you can.
3130, huh?
Yes, it's a costumer shop. Alberto Zingaro.
Zingaro.
I'll meet you there. Goodbye.
Bye. Alberto Zingaro, a customer, had at least a tangible name and occupation. His shop was tattered on in grimy windows and scarred wooden door, all immodestly marked with the proprietor's name in handsome 12-inch high gold letters. With a card dangling from the front doorknob reading, "Back in 10 minutes, Mr. Alberto Zingaro." There was nothing left for me to do but wait, until from someplace within arm's reach the conversation was declared open. You have a match, please? Yeah, I guess so. Here. When I raised the cupped flame toward a smiling face sporting a mid-July sunburn topped by blonde crew-cut hair, I got ready for trouble. It never came.
Thank you. Good night.
Uh-huh.
Keep the change now. Marlowe?
Yeah.
Marlowe, is that Mr. Zingaro going off?
No, just a guy out of matches.
Oh. Well, I wonder where Zingaro is. He said everything would be ready and waiting for both of us. Me as Mephistopheles and you.
Just a minute. We said nothing about me going to that masquerade, Mr. Bishop. Not a word.
Mr. Marlowe, please. I'm sure Estes is going to try to get me tonight.
Yeah, I know, but when you want...
Gentlemen, good evening. I'm sorry to be late, but there was a costume that had to be delivered.
Mr. Zingaro, this is Mr. Marlowe, the gentleman I called about.
Oh, yes.
You'll be able to fit him all right.
I don't know. It depends, Mr. Bishop.
On whether or not I'll stand still.
Oh, Marlowe, please. I'll pay you anything.
I know, but I... Okay.
Fine. Wonderful. Zingaro, open the door.
I am. Now, where is that light switch? Ah, yes. There. And now, here is your costume.
This is my costume?
Yes. You like it? You do.
Oh, no, it's pretty grotesque, even for Mephistopheles. A beast with wings.
My finest creation. It will surely bring you the first prize at the masquerade. A fiery bear's head, horns and all. It is as Faust saw the devil, the Lord of Darkness. And look, hunched high on your back, a black wing. You pull this cord here, and the wings flap. And as for you, Mr. Marlowe, now let me think.
There's something you can whip up quickly, Zingaro. Now, look, Marlowe, I'd appreciate it if you'd stop on your way to the club and pick up Madeline.
It's yours, your fiancée?
Yes, pick her up at my place. 2341 8th Lawn.
2341.
Gentlemen, I have just the thing. Today, Mr. Marlowe. Tonight, Count Alessandro Cagliostro, 18th century impostor, criminal, and lover par excellence.
That's me. All in all, it was another hour, and I was just about rid of the afterglow of the day's goblins when I finally pulled up and parked in front of John Bishop's neat redwood and glass square in suburban Pacific Palisades. But when I was out of my car and walking toward the thin stream of light that leaked out of the front door, which was open inches, the Halloween goblins started coming back fast. They whispered to me of what I might find across the threshold ahead. It took only a fingertip to ease the door open. Then inside, in the middle of the living room floor, a framed picture of a girl, face up. The glass over it smashed into a huge starburst, and around the edges, a trickle of blood. But the girl was beautiful. Hair spun from a red sunset. Skin as smooth as warm honey. A generous mouth that laughed without moving. Beautiful. Except for her eyes. They were green. A green of emeralds, clear and wide and deep. And they laughed, too. But the sound you felt somehow wasn't nice.
You approve, Mr. Marlowe? Mr. Marlowe?
Oh. Oh, forgive me. It's the first time I've seen a green witch.
Well, it's Halloween, remember?
Yeah.
Of course, I know I'm missing the blacked-out teeth and the bushy eyes. My picture. What happened to it?
Oh, it's probably the wind.
What?
But if I may, Count Alessandro Cagliostro awaits your pleasure.
Oh, kind of... Oh, that's you.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, how nice. And how handsome for so bad a man. All John said was you were an old friend. Your arm, please, Count dear. The green witch is ready. Do we drive or fly?
Clayton himself couldn't have done a better job in the West Palisades Country Club. The building, which was long and pasted too close to the edge of the cliff that plummeted 200 abrupt feet to the churning sea below, was flooded in a sickly green light, while skeletons in the trees, hanging in the restless wind by their narrow necks, danced a shadowy jig to the accompaniment of the crashing surf. The long, narrow path which ran along the cliff's edge leading to the country club entrance was labeled Dead Man's Walk, and every 50 feet a life-sized dummy of an infamous man perched on the balustrade and stared blindly out to sea. Somehow, you couldn't quite laugh. However, inside, life was more pleasant. The lights were brighter, the costumes 5 parts fun to each part fear, and Madeline was a little prettier than possible. And when she marched me up to a grande dame who was dressed as Marie Antoinette, but who was wide enough to have also passed for 4 of the ladies in waiting, I couldn't make my eyes let go.
Oh, Mr. Marlowe, Your Excellency. As a lady of the reception committee, I welcome you to our club. I said I welcome you to our club.
Excuse me. Thank you. I'm sorry. I was looking for a friend, a beast with wings.
Oh, that one. John's over there near the punch bowl. Has been ever since he got here. Over there, a giant-sized rum bottle for a costume. Quite appropriate, my dear. The only demon the gentleman on the inside knows is rum, believe me. And if it only... Oh, pardon me, newcomers. No wonder Marie Antoinette was executed. Hey, look. Still that man in armor, the one with the hump on his back, heading for the veranda. He's there, too.
The gentleman's the notorious Duke of Gloucester. Historical hero.
Looks perfectly ridiculous with that beach boy complexion.
Yeah. And crew cut. Madeline, you haven't powdered your nose yet, huh?
But it doesn't need it.
Oh, yes, it does. Honest, honey. Besides, I need a breath of fresh air. I feel faint.
All around the town. If I fall down and break my crown, I'll bet I'll never spill a drop. It doesn't rhyme.
No.
Hello.
How are you?
It is not. I just fell down and broke my crown. But
Say, Duke.
Yeah?
Duke, I'd like to talk to you a moment, please.
What? Talk to me? Who are you?
Say, I can't tell. You're masked pretty good. Quite deceptive. Yeah, well, maybe I can help you. For one thing, I'm an international villain of sorts, but another, just a nice run-of-the-mill guy. The kind who'd never refuse a stranger a light, remember?
What? Oh, are you the guy?
Yeah, the guy you asked for a light when he was standing in front of Albert Zingaro's costume shop. And before you can start talking about how small a world we live in or start lying about how natural your appearance was there, let's have the truth. Come on, Tin Pants. Was it because of Dale Estes?
Dale Estes?
You slipped.
All right. What's the difference? Yes, it was because of Estes. I know that he's an escaped convict. I also know he's the one way I can get Madeline away from that worthless Mr., shall I say, Bishop? Or would you prefer the full name, John Estes?
Bishop and Estes are related?
Yeah, like in brothers.
Oh. Thanks, Duke. I'm much obliged.
Hold on. Where do you think you're going?
Keep your hands off, Iron Man. Your face is hanging out, you know.
You'll not interfere. Not if I have...
Get your hands off! When I dropped the Duke of Gloucester, his face twisted in hurt surprise, and his suit of phony armor landed on a flagstone path like a truckload of tin cans with him in the middle. He was still clanking as I left him and went back to the ballroom where I spotted my client, the beast with wings, at the punch bowl again, making himself even more hideous looking by pouring punch down a slit in his neck under a long papier-mâché chin. When I got close enough to him, he spun toward me like I'd stuck a pin in him.
What? What do you want?
Hey, you're getting pretty jumpy, Bishop. You better take it easy. Also, you're getting a little thick-tongued. Don't you think you're riding the punch bowl too hard?
That's really none of your business, is it?
Certainly is. This is my business, too. You hired me to protect you against Dale Estes. But you didn't say one word about Estes being your brother. How about it?
Well, I didn't think it was necessary. How'd you find out?
From your sunburned friend with the crew cut, the hunchback in armor.
Oh?
He's been checking up on you because he doesn't think you're worthy of Madeline.
Oh, that's so.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Madeline now?
I think a broom saddle, maybe. I don't know.
Broom? Oh, yeah. I better go find her. Listen, I think things are going to be all right.
You can take it easier from now on.
What gives you that idea, Bishop?
Well, nothing's happened so far. Maybe nothing will. I'll check with you later.
Don't tell you so. I simply must tell you. It's a scream.
I'll bet. What's got you funny bone, Marie?
Well, it's Harry there. The bottle, you know, a demon rum.
Uh-huh.
Well, he just told me that one of our wax statues out of the terrace is bleeding. Oh, is that terrific?
Yeah.
Oh, it's being loaded.
Wait a minute. I saw it. Now, nobody believes me, but I'll tell you anyway. It's bleeding. Real blood to it. That's too much. It's all right to have decorations, but using real blood is going too far.
Well, you're going too far, Harry, with a punch as usual. You better leave it alone, or God will get you before the
No, wait. Nobody believes me. Hey, you believe me, pal.
Got a wax tummy bleeding? Not really, Harry.
Well, you should, because I saw it. The one way down at the end by the stairs. The one in the brown tweed suit. Bleeding real blood out of a gash in
Brown
his neck.
tweed suit.
Oh, it was dreadful.
Wait a minute. Did you say brown tweed suit?
Did I say brown? Yeah, brown tweed suit. Yeah, but that's nothing. The real blood is the important. Hey, you believe me?
Yeah, come on.
Okay, come on. It's right over there, pal. Behind those bushes over there. Come on, you'll see. Nobody believed me when I do.
Well, where is it?
Hey, it's gone somebody when I moved it on me.
Oh, no.
Oh, listen, it was right here, propped up against the railing. It had a hat pulled down over his face, but I could see the gash in his neck from the light down on the top of the
All right,
stairs.
come on, Harry. Let's get... Hey, wait a minute, Bottle. You can be right.
Well, what do you mean? What's
There's
the
blood
matter?
here on the rail. Look, tell me, do those stairs go all the way down to the water?
Oh, yeah, but an awful climb, better than 200 feet. There's a little boat landing down there.
My guess is there's more than that down there now, Harry boy. The bottle of rum stared at me out of the peak holes in his label until I started down. Then he insisted on following. The stairs, chopped from solid rock along a natural path that wound over the face of the cliff, were steep and rough and slick from wisps of fog that moved me swiftly across them like wet, nervous fingers. But the bottle behind me was enchanted just enough to slip and skid with every step and still managed to keep his footing. Halfway down, we saw a crumpled hat, only a teaser to what we found at the bottom in the winking yellow light of the lamp on the boat landing. He had struck on his face after plunging down 200 battering feet of jagged cliff. All that was left of the man in a brown tweed suit. The rum bottle costume beside me was still intact. But the little man inside of his liquor was wearing thin was beginning to come apart.
That's real funny. Some joke on the rest of them all, because that's no wax dummy there. Oh. Hey, that's a real man.
It was a man.
I don't feel very
Pull yourself
well.
together and give me a match.
Yeah.
Boy. Yeah. Fall like that can do a lot to a man's face.
Hey, this guy looks familiar to me. Well, from the back here, he looks like John Bishop.
He should. It's his brother. I wonder Bishop figured things would be okay from now on.
Huh? What do you...
Hold it. Listen.
What's the matter?
Shut up, will you?
I didn't hear.
Yeah, somebody's coming down the stairs. Get over there out of sight and keep quiet. As I made for the foot of the stairs, I looked up in time to see a hunchback monster in armor half hidden in the writhing yellow mist duck back from the edge. He eased himself down the stairs. It was the Duke of Gloucester again asking for another punch on his suntan jaw. So I took the slippery steps two at a time as far as the first blind corner where I found out that he beat me to it.
That evens us up, mister. Not for long, Bud. I'll trick you next time. I knew you meant trouble. Now I know what kind.
That's enough out of you. Stand still.
What? A gun? Oh, no, you don't. You killer.
Sudden lunge in the dark caught me off guard, and my 38 went spinning away into the night as he turned and ran. The fog in the night, coupled with a useless 3-minute search for my gun, was all he needed. By the time I got up to the clubhouse terrace again, the Duke was gone. I was met instead by the ever-merry Marie Antoinette, only this time without giggles.
What on earth is going on out here anyway?
Plenty, baby. Did you see that phony hunchback, the Duke of Gloucester?
See him? I certainly did.
Oh?
He practically ran over me, shouting something about a phone call. Oh, when I see that brute...
Where'd he go? Inside?
Don't you boys know it's dangerous?
Later, baby, later. Right now, I want to know... Hey, wait a minute. That bracelet there on your wrist, where'd you get it?
Well, it's the band of the Ladies' Auxiliary of the West Palisades Minutemen.
The what?
The City Settlement Club.
Look, do all members have a thing like that?
Of course. It's got the club crest on it here. The ladies have bracelets, and the men...
I know what the
usually
men wear. I just saw one. If it means anything like I think it does, I better find Madeline Hughes, but fast. Have you seen her?
Madeline? Well, now let me see.
Yes, she's
Now,
the witch, the green witch.
Yes. Well, the last time I saw her, she was walking down toward the fountain with that wonderfully horrible Mephistopheles. Oh, she and John Bishop are a perfect couple tonight, don't you think?
But I think right now would scare you cross-eyed, sister, but thanks for the tip. I'll see you.
I ran past the row of wax ghouls guarding the terrace railing and over to the gate where the flagstone path started. Then I walked as fast as I could without stirring up echoes, down into the little sheltered alcove where the fountain was. There I saw them standing close together beside a pale marble bench, half hidden in the shadows. A beautiful green-eyed witch and a horned nightmare with huge, leathery wings hulking over
Will
her.
you listen to me?
Johnny Bishop, you're drunk. I've never seen you like this before.
Well, I've got reasons. Dale is here in town right now.
What?
Yes. That means one thing. He's found out about us. He knows what we did to him.
Wait a minute. I didn't lie in court about him. You did.
But you didn't object when you found out. Instead, you celebrated by getting engaged to me.
All right, Johnny. You sorry? I played it the way I saw it. I've got me to worry about.
Buddy, you went to prison with the idea that you loved him, Madeline. In fact, he was trying to get his hands on enough money to keep you happy when the cops caught him.
Okay, I'm expensive. If he couldn't afford me, that's his problem.
And his love, Madeline. Whose problem was that?
John, what are you doing? John!
I'm not John, Madeline. I've already taken care of John. I'm Dale. And you really are a witch, Madeline. So I'm going to strangle the life out of you like you did me.
Cut it out, Estes.
Stay back, you. Take one more step and I'll plug you.
Just for laugh, Estes, because it won't do any good. You're trapped here.
Yeah, well, I'm going to get you, Nosy. And then her. And after that, all I got to do is walk across the dance floor in there and out the front door. And in this rig, I won't even be noticed.
You won't make it, sucker?
No. Oh, hey. Well, drop, will you?
Your gun's jammed, sucker. Now what?
Dirty lousy. Here. Take it. Oh.
My shoulder and arm were numb from the bullet. And I could feel my shirt front getting warm and sticky as I tried to follow him. But the flagstone path was 10 miles long, and my legs were melting. I saw him go to the ballroom door, and I made it over to the side of the building for support. But I knew I'd never catch him. I looked in the window, and I saw him start across the floor. A garish horned beast with wings, shoving his way to freedom. A milling mob of prancing demons. I was passing out. I knew it. I tried to yell to stop him, but the crowd inside was going crazy, laughing and cavorting around the beast with wings, clawing at him, holding him, shoving him back from the door. I saw him fighting and then go down as a horde of screaming creatures closed over him. And then everything went black.
Marlowe? Marlowe? Are you awake, Marlowe? I won't stay long. I just want to thank you for saving Madeline's life.
Oh, Duke of Gloucester, huh?
Well, I'm really just Bruce Wiley. The doctor said...
Doctor, what is this? Where am I?
Santa Monica Hospital, Marlowe. You were shot, remember? 4 hours ago at the Halloween party?
Oh, yeah. Dale Estes, he got away, huh?
Got away? No, he didn't. I just came from police headquarters where Estes confessed. Want me to tell you about it?
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, I dreamed it.
Well, Estes killed his brother, John Bishop, out in the terrace before the dance began.
He traded his brown tweed suit for Bishop's Mephistopheles costume so he could move around inside.
Yeah, that's right. Almost was caught there by little Harry, the rum bottle, remember?
Mm-hmm.
But when the coast was clear, Estes threw the body over the cliff and went in to dance in Bishop's Mephistopheles costume.
Find Madeline, yeah. Now, look, I know this already, but after he shot me, it was a cinch to escape. That's where it gets fuzzy. What happened then?
Brother, as handsome a piece of irony as I've ever seen. The Mephistopheles costume that Bishop wore...
Don't tell me.
Yeah. Won first prize.
That's all.
The crowd wouldn't let Estes leave until he received the award and unmasked. Oh, it's quite a scene. Police I called when I thought you were a killer showed up to take him away. Then we found you and Madeline out on the terrace and brought you here.
And a happy Halloween to you, too. How's Madeline?
Fine, thanks to your efforts. She's waiting outside now. I'll send her in. Huh? She's awake now, Madeline.
Oh, okay. Don't wait for me, Bruce. Hello, handsome.
Hello, beautiful. Your throat's bruised.
Yeah, it could have been worse. You figured it out just in time. Dale even had me fooled. His voice was so good. How'd you manage it?
No, the corpse was wearing a wristwatch band from the Palisades Minutemen Club. That gave me the switch. When I knew it was Dale in the costume, I figured his only reason for impersonating his brother would be...
And you didn't even have a gun when you cut in on him. That took a lot of nerve, handsome. Thanks.
Don't mention it. Would you get the lights as you leave?
Not so fast. You heard some pretty bad things about me tonight, and probably thought up a few of your very own.
Matter of fact, I did. You got that kind of face. Cast spells. Gotta be careful with it, baby. Now, will you catch the lights on your way out, please?
Wait a minute. I'm going to tell you something first. I've been sent scared into me tonight, and I've been thinking things are going to be different from now on.
Yeah? Who's next, Bruce Wiley?
I haven't decided. But whoever he is, Marlowe, he'll be the only one, and he'll know exactly where he's at. Does that help?
I'll have to see it happen first, baby.
Okay. I'm going away for a while, but I'll be back. Watch for me next Halloween. Handsome.
Yeah, would you catch your lights?
I'll catch the lights on the way out. Bye, dear.
When Madeline left, sleep left with her. I got out of bed, went over to the window, and looked out. The sky and the ocean was still dark. But over in the east, the first glow of dawn was starting on the horizon. And the goblins flew screaming into the mist until next Halloween. At that moment, something moved across the fading moon. Something that looked very much like a beautiful witch, with hair red as a sunset and cold green eyes. And then I saw something else on the white sand of the beach. A discarded witch's costume in green, and beyond it, just for a moment, I thought I saw Madeline leaning against a rock and looking out to sea. I never found out if it was Madeline or not. Because then the sun came up, and she and the costume and the night were gone.
The Adventures of Philip Marlowe, bringing you Raymond Chandler's most famous character, star Gerald Moore, and are produced and directed by Norman MacDonald. Script is by Robert Mitchell and Gene Levitt. Featured in the cast were Eve McVeigh, John Daner, Paul Frees. Were Eve McVeigh, John Daner, Paul Frees. Were Eve McVeigh, John Daner, Paul Frees. Were Eve McVeigh, John Daner.